Okay, good morning. Once again, welcome to our uh, class on statistics and probability. So we are now on our week 3. Okay, so we are now on our week 3 of our discussion. So for today, we're going to discuss the levels of measurement. Okay, what is all about measurement levels? So as we are going to continue exploring our data, since we started already the data collection activity, so we are here to continue exploring some of our data wherein we gathered from our data collection activity. All right, and knowing this data, uh, it is enable us to plan the data collection process for we need to employ in order to gather the appropriate data for analysis. All right. So levels of measurement. But before that, I have a question here. So, do you believe in the following statement like this? Students who eat a healthy breakfast will do best on a quiz. Students who eat an unhealthy breakfast will get an average performance. And students who do not eat anything for breakfast will do the worst on a quiz. So, in this statement, um, we can looking at our or reading from our as we're going to understand this statement, we can from our past lesson we can apply some statistical process, okay, just to investigate the validity, all right, or just to investigate on the validity of this statement on who is the best and who is the worst, all right. So we can, and in here, from this statement, we can enumerate the following process or steps in the process for us to undertake in investigating the validity of this statement. So we have the statistical process for us to use in investigating on the validity of the statement. All right. So first is to plan or design. All right. So for us to know the validity of the statement, we have to plan or design the collection of the data. Okay. For us to verify the validity of the statement in a way that it maximizes some information content and minimizes bias. All right. So hindi kasi natin pwedeng sabihin na best yung student na kumain ng unhealthy breakfast. Okay? Right away. So, hindi natin siya pwedeng sabihin na pinaka-worst yung hindi nag-breakfast. Tama? So, we have to plan or design for us to verify the validity of the statement in a way that para ma-maximize yung information for us to gather and minimizes some bias. Alright? So, aside from planning and designing, we have to uh, yes, after the verify, so I mentioned that one already, verify the validity. And then, wait, aside from verify, we have to collect the data as required in the plan. So, mag-collect tayo ng data kung tungkol doon sa mga estudyante na kumain ng breakfast, kumain ng hindi healthy at hindi kumain ng breakfast. Okay? Let's say, mag-gather tayo ng data from students here in SEAC. Alright? And then, so verify the quality of the data after it was collected. So, pag after nating mag-collect, verify natin yung quality ng data that we have gathered from our student. Okay? For yung halimbawa doon. And then, summarize the information. Okay, summarize the information extracted from our data. So, after the collection, verify mo yung quality ng data mo, and then after that, you have to summarize. Alright? Summarize the information that you extracted from the data, and then after that, examine. So we have to examine the summary statistics so that insight and meaningful information can be produced. Okay? So this is to support our decision or your decision whether to believe or not the given statement. Okay? So, kailangan natin ng statistical process para maniwala doon sa given statement kanina on students who eat a healthy breakfast will do the best. Tama ba na yung kumain ng breakfast will do the best on a quiz? Or student who eat an unhealthy breakfast will get an average performance? And students who do not eat anything for breakfast will do the worst on a quiz. Okay? So, in here, let us understand further about the step, especially the first step. So, in planning or designing our data collection activity, kailangan i-consider natin we have to consider the set of all the students in the class. Okay? So, yan, in the class as our universe. Okay? Naalala nyo yung past lesson natin about the basic terms in statistics. So, in planning or designing the data collection activity, so yun na, binabanggit ko na, we could consider the set of all the students in the class as our universe. So yung buong klase natin, halimbawa, consider natin yung lahat tayo doon lahat kayo ay universe. So you belong to that universe. And then after that, identify the variables. Alright? So we have to identify the variables that we need to observe or measure just to verify the validity of the statement. Okay? And then, so here are the following suggested possible queries. Like suggested questions here. Do you usually have a breakfast before going to school? So from the statement a while ago, we can ask a question. Do you usually have a breakfast before going to school? By this question, so pwedeng sagutin ng estudyante ng yes or no, alright? And then, so another queries is, what do you usually have for breakfast? Okay, so what are the possible responses for this question? So pwede nilang sabihin kumain sila ng rice, ng bread, banana, oatmeal, cereal, coffee, ganon. So pwedeng sila lang, nag-coffee lang sila in going to school. Okay, so the responses in questions 1 and 2, like, do you usually have a breakfast before going to school? What do you usually have for breakfast? These responses to these questions could lead us to identify whether a student in the class had a healthy breakfast, an unhealthy breakfast, or no breakfast at all. Okay, so doon natin malalaman kung yung mga pinagtanungan nating estudyante ay kumain ng healthy breakfast, kumain ng hindi healthy, at hindi kumain ng breakfast. Okay? Ayan. So as we describe the data collection process to verify the validity of the statement, there is also a need to include the levels of measurement. Okay, so dagdag natin dito yung levels of measurement for the variables of interest. So ano ba yung mga levels of measurement? Okay? Levels of measurement, there are 4. Okay? There are 4 levels of measurement of variables. We have the nominal level, ordinal level, interval level, and the ratio level. Okay, so let us discuss about nominal level. So what do you know about nominal level? So nominal level of measurement arises when we have variables that are categorical and non-numeric. Okay, non-numeric, or where the numbers has no sense of ordering. Alright? So, wala daw siyang sense of ordering. Ayan, it attributes are only named, which is the weakest. Alright? So, example dito, we can consider the numbers on the uniforms of basketball players. So, paanong naging nominal? Because it has no sense of numbering. Halimbawa, basketball player ka, tapos pinili mo yung number ng uniform mo ay 1. That doesn't mean na number 1 yung number ng uniform mo, ikaw na yung the best na player sa basketball. Tama? So, it has no sense of ordering. Okay? So, Ayan. So, is the player wearing a number 7 a worse player than the player wearing number 10? So, yan, pwedeng maybe or maybe not. But the number on the uniform does not have anything to do with their performance. So, yun yung sabi ko kanina. It does not have anything to do with their performance. So, walang kinalaman yung number ng mga uniform nila. Okay? Nakadepende yun sa performance nila. Hindi yun nakadepende sa number ng uniform. Tama? Okay. So, that is nominal level. So, variables that are categorical and non-numeric, wherein the numbers have no sense of ordering. Okay? So, the numbers on the uniform really help identify the basketball player. So, yun. I-identify mo lang kung sino yung player. Kaya yun yung number niya. Halimbawa yung if you are fan of ano yung Slam Dunk, 'di ba? Kilala niyo ba si number 11 doon? Siya si Rukawa, tama? So, doon lang natin malalaman so sino yung number, hindi yung performance, okay? So, other examples of variables measured at the nominal level include sex. Kasi wala namang sense of ordering. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin mas best yung male sa female, okay? So, it has no sense of ordering. Another one is marital status. Ayan. Ano ba yung mga marital status? Ayan yung married, single, widow, okay? So, hindi mo pwedeng best yung married, worse yung single. So, wala siyang sense of ordering. So, ayan, nominal level lang siya. Okay? Or religious affiliation. Okay? So, hindi mo pwede, halimbawa yung religion ko, hindi ko siya pwedeng sabihin mas best yung religion ko sa religion mo. Alright? So, it has no sense of ordering. So, it is categorical and non-numeric. Alright? So, nominal level. So, for the study on the validity of the statement regarding the effect of breakfast, dun sa statement natin kanina, on school performance, students who responded yes to the question number 1 can be coded 1, while those who responded no, coded 0 can be assigned. Alright? So, the numbers used are simply for numerical codes lang. So, numerical codes lang. Pero wala siyang sense of ordering and cannot be used for ordering in any mathematical computation. Okay? So, that is nominal level. Now we have the ordinal level. So what is the difference from ordinal to nominal? So when we say ordinal level, it also deals with categorical variables like the nominal level. But meron silang pagkakaiba. In ordinal level, ordering is important. Okay, 'di ba? Sa nominal, hindi importante yung ordering. Kaya nga sabi natin, it has no sense of ordering. Kasi nabanggit natin kanina, hindi natin pwedeng pinaka the best yung kumain ng breakfast at pinaka worst yung hindi nag-breakfast. Nakadepende yon sa performance ng estudyante. What if yung estudyante pala hindi talaga siya nagbe-breakfast, tama? Tapos yung kumakain ng breakfast hindi namang ganung kagalingan, hindi ganung talino sa klase. So, ganun yon. So, for ordinal level, ordering is important. Okay? It also deals with categorical variables. But ordering is important. That is the values of variable that could be ranked. Alright? It could be ranked. So, for the study on the validity, on the study on the validity of the statement regarding the effect of breakfast, doon sa school performance, students who had healthy breakfast can be code 1. So, pwede natin i-code 1 yung kumain ng breakfast. And those who had unhealthy breakfast can be code 2, while those who had no breakfast at all as 3. Okay? So, using the codes, the responses could be wrong. Okay? So, pwede nating gamitin yung codes na yon. So, paano kung mas maraming nag-response doon sa code 3? O, di yun yung pinaka the best. So, ganun. So, using the codes, the responses could be ranked. So, the students who had a healthy breakfast are ranked first, while those who had no breakfast at all are ranked last in the sense of ordering. So, sense of ordering lang yun. Ayan. So, the numerical codes here in ordinal level have a meaningful sense of ordering. Unlike doon sa basketball player uniforms. Nakadepende lang yun sa uniform ng player. Alright? So, the numerical codes suggest that one student is having a healthier breakfast than another student. So, we have other example here under ordinal scale. So, it includes rank in class. So, yung rank mo, ikaw ba yung nagtatap or ikaw yung nagtatapwak? O, alam mo ba yon? O, yung last, pinaka-last. Kahit naman pinaka-last, pero hindi naman pinaka-bobo. Okay? Last lang sa rank. Okay? So, pwede rin dito yung ordinal scale wherein socio-economic status. So, ano yung socio-economic status mo? Pwede mo siyang i-rank from A to E. Okay? Where we can say A is the wealthy and E as poor. Tama? So, yun yung socio-economic status. So, where do you belong? Ano yung economic status mo? Wealthy or poor? So, ganun. Or, pwede rin yung team standing. So, halimbawa, nagtatap na yung team mo sa basketball. Ayan, nananalo na kayo. Okay? Or, difficulty of questions in an exam. So, ano ba yung mga difficulty of questions in an exam? Ayan, di ba merong easy, medium, and difficult. Alright? Or, another example for ordinal level is rank in a contest. So, halimbawa, sumali ka sa beauty contest. So, pwedeng first place, second place, third place. Okay? And yung perception natin sa Likert scale. So, those are ordinal levels. So, ordering is very important. That is the values of our variable that could be rank. Okay? So, discussing about the sense of ordering, in here, there is no 0 point in an ordinal scale. Okay? So, there is no 0 point in an ordinal scale. So, in addition to this, there is no way to find out how much distance there is between one category to another. So, in a scale from 1 to 10, the difference between 7 and 8 may not be the same difference between 1 and 2. Alright? Ayan. So, that is ordinal level. So, we also have the interval level of measurement. So, internal level of measurement tells us that one unit differs by a certain amount of degree from another unit. So, anong ibig sabihin yan? One unit differs by a certain amount of degree from another unit. So, knowing on how much one unit differs from one another, that is an additional property of the internal level. Okay, internal level on top of having the properties possessed by the ordinal level. So, naalala niyo yung ordinal level natin, it has, the ordering is important. So, halimbawa, when we are measuring temperature in Celsius, ayan, so yung internal level, kapag, for example, we are using or measuring temperature in Celsius, a 10-degree difference has the same meaning anywhere along the scale. So, halimbawa, the difference between 10 and 20 degrees Celsius is the same as between 80 and 90. So, pareho lang yung difference niya. 10-degree difference. Okay? Or, eto, pero hindi mo siya pwedeng sabihin na 80 degrees Celsius is twice as hot as 40 degrees Celsius since there is no true zero, but only an arbitrary 0 point. Okay? So, pwedeng yung the difference between 10 and 20 degrees Celsius, pareho siya doon sa in between 80 and 90. Pero hindi mo siya pwedeng sabihin na yung 80 degrees Celsius is twice as hot as 40 degrees Celsius. So, hindi sila pareho. So, yung 40 degrees sa 80 degrees, so mas mainit alin na mas mainit? Yung 80. Okay? So, in here, a measurement of 0 0 degrees Celsius does not reflect a true lack of temperature. So, ginagamit lang natin yung 0 as arbitrary, as it does not mean the whole value does not exist. Okay? 'Di ba? Meron tayong ginagamit doon sa temperature, yung pagkuha ng temperature, may 0 doon. So, it doesn't mean na merong 0 degrees Celsius. Okay? So, it is just an arbitrary. Alright? 0 only represents an additional measurement point. Okay? Additional measurement point. So, in here, so pwede rin natin gamitin yung example, yung intelligent quotient ng isang tao. Okay? So, under interval level. So, variable measure the interval level, pwede rin yung IQ. Okay? IQ of a person. Wherein we can tell not only which person ranks higher in IQ, but also how much higher he or she ranks with another. But 0 IQ does not mean no intelligence at all. Okay? So, nabanggit ko kanina, I mentioned earlier, we only use 0 to represent an additional measurement point under interval level. So, hindi ibig sabihin na 0 yung IQ mo, bobo ka na. Yun yung ibig sabihin nun. We are only using 0 as a representative. Okay? Or an additional measurement point. Okay? So, yan yung gamit ni 0. So, ayan. So, in here, we can also be classified or categorized according to your IQ level. Okay? So, kung sino yung nagtatap sa klase, edi siya na yung may pinakamataas na IQ. Kung sino yung pinakahuli, siya na yung hindi naman siya pinakabobo, pinakamababa lang yung IQ level niya. Okay? So, yan ang ibig sabihin ng interval level. So, one unit differs by a certain amount of degree from another unit. Okay? So, we also have some examples here, yung temperature na nabanggit na natin. Halimbawa, yung we are measuring it in Celsius. Ayan. Or yung dress size natin, no, di ba? It differs. Another levels of measurement is the ratio level. So, under ratio level, it also tells us that one unit has so many times as much of the property as does another unit. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, the ratio level possesses a meaningful, so ano yung meaningful? Yan yung unique and non-arbitrary, absolute, fixed 0 point. Okay? Fixed 0 point. And allows all arithmetic operations. So, ibig sabihin, meron na dito yung the existence of the 0 point is the only difference between ratio level and interval level of measurement. So, sabi natin kanina doon sa interval level, ginagamit lang natin yung 0 to represent an additional measurement point. Okay? While in ratio level, so, the existence of 0 point. So, meron na dito yung existence. Halimbawa, the ratio scale includes, so under ratio scale, it includes mass, height, weight, energy, and electric charge. So, with mass as an example, wait lang. Okay, so ayan. So, examples of our ratio scale are includes mass, heights, weights, energy, and electric charge. So, halimbawa dito sa mass level, doon sa mass, so we can say that the difference between 120 grams and 135 grams is 15 grams. So, this is the same with 380 grams and 390 grams. So, ibig sabihin, the level at any given point is constant. Okay? So, constant siya. And a measurement of 0 reflects a complete lack of mass. So, pwede natin gamitin yung 0 sa ratio level. Kasi pwedeng yung mass mo ay zero. Wala ka pang 1 kilo o zero ka. So, it reflects the complete lack of mass. So, pwede rin yung amount of money. Amount of money is also at the ratio level. Bakit amount of money? So, we can say that 2,000 pesos is twice more than 1,000 pesos. So, dagdag dito, money has a true zero point. That is if you have zero money. Tama? Oh, hindi mo naman pwedeng pilitin na wala ka talagang na magkakaroon ka ng pera kung wala talaga. Oh, yan. So, zero. So, pwedeng zero if you have zero money. So, ibig sabihin lang nun, if you have zero money, it is implies that the absence of money. Alright? So, wag mo hayang mawalan ka ng pera. Importante yan. So, going back to the statement a while ago for the study on the validity of that statement regarding the effect of breakfast on school performance, the student's score in the quiz is measured at the ratio level. So dito natin malalaman sa ratio level yung school performance ng estudyante na kumain ng breakfast, kumain ng hindi healthy na breakfast at hindi kumain ng breakfast. Alright? So, ayan. So, dito natin mami-measure yung result ng quiz nila. Halimbawa, nagpa-quiz ako ngayon. Tapos, nag-gather ako ng data kung sino sa inyo ang kumain ng breakfast, sino ang kumain ng hindi healthy, at sino ang hindi kumain. Ayan. Tapos, paano kung ang resulta ng hindi kumain ng breakfast at all ay pinakamataas? Okay, so nakadepende yon sa performance. Alright? It depends on the performance. So we can measure your performance level by having your quiz at a ratio level. So a score of 0 implies that the students did not get a correct answer at all. Okay? So under ratio level, di ba may mga estudyante na nasi-zero sa mga quiz, sa mga exam, ganon. Kasi pwedeng it affects eating breakfast on your performance in school. Okay? So that is under ratio level. So we have another examples like number of patients seen. Okay, so we also have another example, the distance students travel to class. So pwede yan. Pwede natin gamitin sa ratio level. Okay, so yung distance na tina-travel mo papunta sa school. Ganun. So before we go to the methods of data collection, let us have a summary about the measures of measurement levels. So under nominal, the property is no order, distance, or origin. So basic empirical operation, determination of equivalence. Under ordinal, it has order but no distance or unique origin. So ito yung determination of greater or lesser values. Under interval, both with order and distance, but no unique origin. And for the ratio, it has order, distance, and unique origin. So determination of equality of ratios or means. Okay? Now, going back to our data collection activity last time, where we have the following variables. Okay, so in here, the levels of measurement depend mainly on the method of measurement, okay, not on the property measured. So it depends on the method of measurement. So I repeat, not on the property measured. So the weight of primary school students measured in kilograms has a ratio level, but the students can be categorized into overweight, normal, underweight, and in which case the weight is then measured in an ordinal level. Okay, so yan. So, and also there are many levels, only interval because many levels are only interval because their 0 point is arbitrarily chosen. So, to assess your understanding about level of measurement. So, balikan natin yung mga variables wherein the variables that we use in gathering the data. Okay? So, ito yung mga variables natin last meeting. We have the class student number, wherein we did it at random, just to get your number. We have your sex, male or female, number of siblings, weight in kilogram, height in centimeters, age of mother, usual daily allowance in school, usual daily food expenditure in school, usual number of text messages sent in a day, usual sleeping time, most preferred color, and happiness index of the day. Alright? Of the day yan. So, para ma-assess yung pagkakaintindi natin dito sa level of measurement, so we can identify the level of measurement for each of the following variables here. So, here are the following. So, under class student number, it is nominal. Okay, bakit nominal? Bakit nominal yung level of measurement ng class student natin? So, we mentioned that nominal level, so ano yung sabi natin kay nominal level? It has no sense of ordering. Okay? So, variables, this variable is categorical and non-numeric. Or sa ang ibig sabihin nun, no sense of ordering. So, porque nabunot mo yung number na 1, ikaw na yung pinaka-top. Hindi. Wala siyang sense of numbering. That's why it is under nominal level. So, how about sex? So, nabanggit natin yan kanina, it is under nominal level. So, hindi mo pwedeng sabing mas best yung male sa female, right? Okay. And then, number of siblings, ratio. Bakit ratio? Kasi pwedeng wala kang kapatid, pwedeng mag-isa ka lang. Ayan. So, pwede siyang 0. And then, weight in kilograms, ratio din. Okay? Kasi mini-measure natin yung kung gaano kakabigat. Same as true with height, when we measure it in centimeters, is under ratio level. Okay? Because it has order. Unique origin. So, may kilo. Meron kang kilo. So, gaano kang kabigat. And age of mother. Under ratio level. Same as true with usual daily allowance in school. 0. Pwedeng wala kang baon. Same with food expenditure. Pwedeng wala kang pangkain or pwedeng nagbaon ka ng lunch mo, ng merienda mo. Ganon din sa usual number of text messages na sinesend mo in a day. So, pwedeng wala kang ka-text ngayong araw, ayan, or bukas madami na. So, that is under ratio level of measurement. And then, usually sleeping time is nominal. Kasi hindi naman pare-pareho yung oras ng pagtulog natin. Okay? And then, most preferred color is nominal. Hindi porke yung most preferred color mo ay red ng pinaka the best. Hindi. That's why it is under nominal. And happiness index of the day is ordinal. Okay? It has order. Merong order yung level of measurement kasi nirarank natin yung happiness index mo sa araw na to. Okay? Pwedeng pinaka-happy ka, bukas hindi na, ganun. So that is about the level of measurement. Now we have the methods of data collection. So variables, so going back from our data collection activity, variables were observed or measured using any of the 3 methods. Okay, so yung mga variables natin kanina, they were observed and measured using the following. Objective, pwede nating i-measure yung variable natin as objective, subjective, or use of existing records. Alright? So, yan yung mga gagamitin nating methods of data collection just to measure and observe our variable. Okay? So, when we say objective, ayan, so the objective and, kanina yan, yung objective and subjective, these methods obtain the data directly, okay? Directly from the source. So, sino ba yung mga source natin sa data collection activity? Kayo na mga estudyante because you provided the data last time. Okay? So, kayo yung source. Kayo yung source ng data wherein I gathered during our class. Alright? And then, the former uses any or combination of the five senses. Ano yan? Yung objective. Okay? So, when we say objective, ginagamit natin yung any of the combination of the five senses. Ano ba yung mga five senses natin? We have the sense of sight, touch, hearing, taste, and smell. So, we use those five senses to measure the variable while um, subjective is through questionnaire. So, we gather the data through questionnaire. Okay? So, ayan. We get responses through questionnaire. So, magpo-provide ka ngayon ng questionnaire sa mga source mo. Okay? Wherein, you will gather your data para ma-measure mo yung variables mo. Okay? For you to measure the variable by getting responses through questionnaire. So that is subjective. Subjective. And then the resulting data from these two methods of data collection is referred to as the primary data. So objective and subjective are primary data. Okay? So yan, yung the data that we gathered last time are the primary data. Ano yung mga primary data natin? Yun yung binigay ninyong responses, okay, from our data collection wherein we mentioned earlier about your happiness index, number of texts you send in a day, baon mo sa araw-araw, pang merienda, pang kain. Ayun. So, those are from primary data and they were obtained using subjective method. Bakit subjective method? Because you were provided a questionnaire for you to answer and provide the data. Alright? So, primary data. And on the other hand, we have the use of existing records or ito yung secondary data natin. Wherein we obtain through existing records or data collected by other entities for certain purposes. Halimbawa, mag-gather tayo ng data doon sa PSA, Philippine Statistics Authority, gagamitin natin yung secondary data. Okay? Bakit secondary data? Kasi existing na yung records na yan. So, nag-gather na yung data. So, yung mga nag-gather, yung mga taga-PSA. So, halimbawa, gagamitin mo siya. Yan. So, we use secondary data and the method that we employ to get the data is the use of existing records. Okay? So, ano yung mga other sources using existing records or the secondary data? So, it includes the administrative records, pwede rin sa news articles, pwede kang kumuha sa internet, and so on. So, madami kang source. Kasi, nagawa na yan. So, in here, we must emphasize that when we use existing data, we must be confident enough, alright? Confident enough of the quality of the data, alright? Quality of the data that we are using by knowing how the data were gathered. So, paano siya nag-gather? Halimbawa, yung gagawin mong, yung data collection na gagawin mo, activity mo is about is tungkol doon sa pinanganak sa taong 2001. Ganun. So, dapat alam mo kung paano na-gather yung data na yon. So, ano yung methods na ginamit sa data collection na yon? Objective ba or subjective or primary data ba or secondary data? So, yun dapat alam mo, knowing how the data were gathered. And also, we must remember to request permission, especially when you are going to use existing records from the PSA. So, kailangan mo ng permission and acknowledge the source of the data when using data gathered by other agency or people. Kasi pwede ka nilang idemanda pag gumamit ka ng existing records na wala silang abiso, wala silang permission na binigay para gamitin mo yung existing records nila. Okay? So that is about methods of data collection. So before I introduce to you your activity, let us have a short summary about our lesson. So here are the key points wherein we discuss from this lesson. So we have the 4 levels of measurement. What are those again? We have the nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. Okay? And then, another one, knowing what level the variable was measured or observed will guide us to know the type of analysis to apply. So, kailangan alam natin yung level of our variable na mini-measure natin para alam natin kung ano yung klase ng analysis na i-apply mo. Yun yung kadi-discuss natin, kung anong method ang gagamitin. Here. It's either objective, subjective, or the use of existence. Or in short, primary or secondary data. Okay? And then, using the data collection method as basis, data can be classified as either primary or secondary data. So, that is all about our discussion about the levels of measurement. Now, for your activity, this is already provided in your module. All you have to do is to read and understand every statement before you answer, okay? So, you have 3 activities in this lesson. First one is you have to identify the level of measurement for each of the following variables. So, provided na yung mga variables nyo, so identify nyo na lang kung anong level of measurement na pwede nyong i-apply dito sa mga variables given or provided for you. Alright? So this is about using the data of the teachers in a particular school gathered by a market researcher company. So ginather ito ni market researcher company. So all you have to do is to identify which level of measurement do these variables belong? Alright? Kagaya ng highest educational attainment. Highest educational attainment. Halimbawa, si teacher na kapag nakapag-masters na siya, ano yun? Anong level of measurement? Okay? Or yung body temperature niya. Body temperature ni teacher. Alright? So, level of measurement. And then, same with letter B, level of measurement for each of the following variables, wherein the variables are included in a survey conducted among students in a certain school. So, halimbawa, kayo yung mga estudyante. So, number of family members are working. Huwag niyo sasabihin na number of family members are working, baka sabihin niyo dyan 3. Hindi ko tinatanong kung ilang family members ang nagtatrabaho. Ang tinatanong ko dito is the level of measurement. Halimbawa, sabihin mong si nanay at tatay mo nagtatrabaho, yung kuya at ate mo nagtatrabaho din, so 4. So, kung 4 sila, anong level of measurement? Ang number 1. Ganon. So, nominal ba siya, ordinal, interval, or ratio? Okay? Kasi dito, sa number of family members are working, pwede namang lahat, pwedeng wala, ganon. Tama? And for letter C, the last one is, identify the data collection method. Ano yung mga data collection method ulit? Yun yung subjective, objective, and use of existing records. So, 3 lang yung choices nyo doon for you to identify the following statements or collection, the data collection method. Okay? So, ano yung methods that they use in gathering the data? Alright? Halimbawa, number 1 ito. The website of Philippine Airlines provides a questionnaire. May clue na doon. Questionnaire. Instrument that can be answered electronically. May clue kayo dyan. Questionnaire. Okay? So, just read and understand every statement before you answer. Okay? So, that ends our discussion for this week. So, I hope you understand our lesson and answer your activity. All right? So, thank you and have a good day.